Hello, fans, and welcome to another episode of High and Tight. I'm John Nolan, the PBR Virginia DC Content Manager and Northern Virginia Scouting Director. I'm joined today by two people, PBR Virginia DC Scouting Director Jason Burton and PBR Virginia DC Scout Jordan Jones. Boys, how are we doing today?
Doing good.
Doing well. Can't complain.
Jordan, welcome. Good to have you back. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm glad to be back.
Awesome. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into the Virginia DC class of 2025. We'll discuss a few big risers in the new and updated rankings, which have been rolling all week on the website, the top uncommitted players in the rankings, as well as more standouts from the Mid-Atlantic State Games. So as I mentioned, it's rankings week. I do see, just a quick note here while we get into some general thoughts, that the top 10 looks pretty close to what it did when we did our last update in August, aside from one new face. Burton, I'm going to throw it to you. Any general notes on the top 10 and the new rankings overall?
No, I mean, top 10, like you said, held pretty strong. A few changes here and there, but overall stayed pretty similar. Haven't seen many of these guys in person since our last look before our last rankings update, which was August, September, somewhere in that time period. So some smaller changes here on the front end, and then some pretty significant changes kind of in the middle and towards the back end.
Yeah, that last update was in last week of August. It's been about 3 months. Jordan, any general notes from you?
Not much. Just a well balanced class. I feel like, especially towards the top, and just all talent all around. So I think it's a pretty good class.
Yeah, definitely. And this class made up all of Team Mid-Atlantic at the PBR Future Games. And that's probably a name that we may or may not be hitting on here in a second. So let's go ahead and roll into our big risers, our big movers here in the 2025 rankings. I'm going to throw it to each of you guys to do two people each. Burton, I believe the first one that you're going to go here jumps into our top 10, moving up from number 18. This is outfielder Nate Houghton Henley of St. John's College. He is a Maryland commit. Burt, what you got on Nate?
Just absolutely tooled up. Dirty Terps commit, Maryland commit, Future Games guy, 6'5" at the Future Games. I think he's been steadily for us. He's been steady in the 6'6" range at multiple events at with the Cadet Scout Day, the Mid-Atlantic Future Games trials at PVI. What was that, late May? Just absolutely tooled up. Big arm from the outfield, 93. He has the potential to stay in center with the range and with the athleticism. And then the bat to ball is pretty high end. I think we've talked about it before. I think the next step for him is the consistency of the quality of contact. I think that's kind of the next step for him to make that other jump even higher in the top 10. But he has some of the best tools in this class, if not the best all-around set of tools for an outfielder and, for a positional guy in general.
Absolutely. Again, that's Nate Houghton Henley. He's a ton of fun to watch out at St. John's College, a Maryland commit. Jordan, let's throw it over to you. Your first guy is going to stay in the outfield here. This is Henrico outfielder Xaven Jackson going from 150 to number 87 in our updated rankings. Jordan, what you got on Xavier?
Xavier, man, he's a ball player. You look at him, strong, compact frame, about 6 foot. He swings with a tent from the left hand side. More of a gappy gap approach, more doubles power, but he will run into baseballs occasionally. But he definitely has more strength to tap into. But high motor guy, is aggressive in the box, always ready to hit. He burst on into the scene this summer and just continued this fall. And he just hits, man. He's just a fun hitter to watch, and he seems to get a positive result every time at the plate.
Awesome. Hitters hit. Again, that's Xaven Jackson, outfielder from Henrico. We're going to go back to Burton, and this is actually a guy that I've gotten a chance to see too. Just haven't gotten a chance to see him on the mound, and that's Ashton Pesky, left-handed pitcher from Tuscarora. I think every time I saw Tuscarora during the spring, he was playing first base or a bat off the bench for them. Made a big jump on the mound here as a left-handed pitcher, committed to Maryland here in the last couple of months, moving from number 54 to number 31. Burt, what you got on Pesky?
Yeah, he was a guy that kind of was a late offer in terms of future games for us. Like you said, we hadn't really had a chance to see him on the mound except for I believe we saw him at the Dirtbag Scout Day, and I want to say that's maybe the only time that we've seen him or that we had seen him on the mound. Made a commitment early August to Maryland, right after the 25s kind of opened up on August 1 or whatever it was. Um, Generally going to be an 84, 86 guy. At the Cup, he was 85, 88, got up to 89. Kind of, he reminds you a little bit of another Tuscarora arm with Brendan Cowan, similar velo, secondary fastball slider. They'll show changeups, low slot guy, listed at 6'1". Pretty sure he's a little bit taller and longer than that, but that's what he's listed at. Just really like the pitchability and like the stuff from Pesky, like the upside. And I think, like you said, I mean, I remember going to that Tuscarora game and seeing Cowan. I was like, all right, Nolan, who do I need to go see? Who do I need to be locking in on? And, like, obviously, Cowan, knowing he was throwing on the mound, we're like, hey, they got a sophomore bat, left-handed first baseman. Outside of Quill, the Pesky kid, he can swing it a little bit at first, and you see this tall, thin kid who just kind of, it's like that baby giraffe, just kind of hadn't found his way in the box a little bit. So we didn't get a chance to see him on the mound, but he's really coming into his own. Again, another Dirty Terps commit, Maryland coming into the state and grabbing some really nice 25s with the new staff.
Yeah, and nothing against Pesky. They had there weren't a lot of innings to go around for Tuscarora last year between Cowan in that top spot. Cole Keel, their second baseman, was the number 2 guy. They swallowed up most of the innings with Burkhart coming in from short to close. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see Pesky some more this spring now with Keel graduating. So if you're in the Dulles district, you better figure out how to hit a low slot lefty with some velo. All right. We're going to go back over to Jordan here for his second riser. We're going to go to third baseman JT Brown out of, I'm going to try and say it how Burton says it, Matoka. That's not actually how he says it. Matoka High School. Moving up from 104 to 66. All right, Jordan, what you got on JT?
So got the chance to see JT quite a few times over the spring, and really cleaned up his body, lanky, wiry, athletic frame. Still plenty of room to add strength. About 6 foot 175, but got the chance to see him at state games here a few weeks ago, and just put on a show. A really consistent round of BP, worked gap to gap, ran into a few baseballs. Just a body you could dream on. Saw him play a lot of first base at Matoka during the spring, but see him at the hot corner a little this high school season in the spring. But I mean, expect him to take on a bigger role there in Matoka and just tap into something new for him.
All right, thank you, Jordan. And again, that's JT Brown, third baseman from Matoka. So that's going to do it for now on our big movers. Make sure you guys check out. We'll have a much more detailed story about that running on the website. Let's go ahead and shift here. We want to talk about the top uncommitted 2025s. As Jason mentioned, this is the first class that's really been affected by the new commitment rules here. And so we did have some of them were committed before April of 2023 when the new rules went into effect. And then a lot of them had to shut down until August, but then we reopened that window of time there. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these top uncommitted 2025s. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick with the order we were going with, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and go Burton first here. Burton, you're going to go to St. Albans here in D.C. to talk about Myles Upchurch, right-handed pitcher.
I don't want to get into it too much, but man, am I fired up for the spring. Myles Upchurch, St. Albans. Shooter had him at 90-93 at the beginning of August. Starter profile, breaking balls over 2,500. Killed spin on the changeup at 81. He's 6'4", 215. He's the number 2 player in the class. I think the difference for me in between him and some other kind of power arms that are behind him is their starter profile. It's an easy operation. He's a guy who can go deep into games. He can work out of situations. He fills the zone. He can throw secondary for strikes. It has quality shape. Kind of has all the makings of a starter. So that, kind of adds to that profile a little bit. I know he's a right-handed arm, but he can really pitch. And I think he was a Maryland commit. When the staff changeover happened, I think that's when he became uncommitted again. We'll see where he lands, but it's going to be a really big pickup for somebody. But again, right-handed arm, second in the class, but just that starter profile and an ability to throw two secondary pitches for strikes and their quality pitches has kept him near the top of the class.
Absolutely. And we talked about Myles a lot during the high school season. He had a monster year for St. Albans, reeled off some outstanding performances against a bunch of really, really good teams. So that's easily got to be one of the top arms everybody needs to get out and see and try and make a swing at if you're a coach with need for arms. So, Jordan, let's go to you. I see your two guys here. There's a theme to them. We'll see if everyone else can connect them here. First one, we're going to go to Patrick Henry, Ashland shortstop Zack Zelasney. Jordan, what you got on Zach?
Yeah, Zelasney, he's a future games guy from this summer. Athletic frame with strength to go with the frame as well. He's a smooth infielder, soft hands, doesn't really seem to speed himself up. Has position versatility as well. Can play short, second, third, and maybe some outfield just because he's so athletic. He's a green runner, of course, and he's just a competitor. He steps in the box. He's going to come at you. He's going to be aggressive, swing early, doubles powers, but he still will run into baseballs occasionally. Just a fun guy that you go to the field is one of the guys you want to circle and watch. I don't think this 25 will be on the board much longer, so you definitely want to get out and see him.
All right, and again, that is Patrick Henry, Ashland shortstop Zachary Zelasney, a Team Mid-Atlantic Future Games alum. Let's go ahead and go back to Burton. Burton, you had Upchurch, a former Maryland commit who's now uncommitted. You've got a similar theme here with your second guy, outfielder Micah Matthews from Turner Ashby High School. What you got on Micah?
Yeah, Micah, like you said, kind of similar to Myles. Micah was a South Carolina commit for quite some time. I guess it was just this fall where he opened his recruitment back up. He had been committed since he was in 8th grade, so over 2 years now. I think one of the biggest things that changed with Micah is that he is a legitimate two-sport athlete. He's a 4-star wide receiver. He's got offers out the wazoo, kind of in both sports. ACC, SEC, just kind of up and down the board. So I think that's kind of what changed things a little bit for him, probably. Physical bat. I got a chance to see him this spring. Jordan, I believe you did as well, correct? So we got out to see him one time apiece. It's a big physical athlete. He's a better runner than maybe what the stature and physicality would maybe lean to. And I think that the biggest thing for him is that him playing football has really added to his athleticism. He's a wide receiver. In the box, gets in the lower half really well, really quiet approach, strong lower half, heavy barrel, impacts in the middle of the field. I think that this is a physical bat that probably has a little bit more corner profile, and I think is going to be a middle of the order type guy, and is going to be a good pickup. He's one of the top uncommitted players in the country as far as baseball and as I would imagine as well as football as well.
Burton, that almost sounded like you were suggesting that playing other sports during the offseason could help improve your overall athleticism.
Well,
but that's an argument.
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm not all in on every single person that. But anyway,
it worked here.
For him, it has. Yes, for some people, it does.
Yeah, we're not kicking over that rabbit hole or that bee's nest right now.
That's a much longer podcast.
That'll get some views, though.
It will. It will get views, comments, and all of the above.
All right, Jordan, back to you here for your second guy. Similar theme to Zelasney. We're going to go Kyle Flora, outfielder from Lansdowne. What you got on Flora?
Yeah, Flora, once again, another future games guy from this past summer. But just the athlete, man. 6'2" runner and contact. He's a contact hitter, but will spray the ball to all fields. He'll run into baseballs occasionally as well. But when you look at Flora and you're buying the bat, you're going to hit. He's going to hit. Position versatility as well. I think has a chance to stay in center. But with Flora, hitters, like I said earlier, hitters going to hit, and Flora is one of those guys.
Hitters hit. Hitters hit, hitters hit, hitters hit.
He does.
Go ahead, Bert.
What's that?
I was going to say, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Nah, I mean, I just like he's a little bit undersized. I kind of see just really like Jordan said, he can move around. He's capable of playing all three. I kind of see center and left. Arm strength is pretty average. But like Jordan said, like every day you show up and watch him, like you're gonna get a barrel. It might be right at somebody. My guy might be 0 for 4, but it ain't gonna be 4 bad at bats. He's gonna find the barrel. He's gonna spray it around. He's patient in the box. Like it's fun watching him hit because like Jordan said, like it's just a true hitter.
No, absolutely. All right, so those are 4 guys among the uncommitteds of the 2025s we wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about. And let's go ahead and rewind back to the first part of this month here. And we're going to go back to the Mid-Atlantic State Games, our monster event in Hampton with over 210 players. We did hit on a bunch of the members of the class of 2025 in our quick reaction pod the day that we recorded actually the day after the event, but I do want to revisit it here while we're talking about 2025s. So let's bounce back and forth here. 2 guys each. Standouts from the Mid-Atlantic State Games. Bert, we're going to go back to you here first. I believe you've got a bat, Carter Mitchell, first baseman from Collegiate, that you want to talk about.
Yeah, and the first thing I'll throw out about Carter is like he was up to 88. There's some effort on the mound. I think I know you got a chance to see him. You know how I know it's your tweet, Nolan's, because you don't use apostrophe. We have to type the entire class out. So that's how I can find Nolan's tweets. So I know that Nolan was the one watching him. 84, 86, topped 88. Big physical kid, just kind of a power arm reliever profile probably. But I think it's a bat first type of guy. Hold on, let me turn on this do not disturb since I'm getting 37 text messages while we're doing this. Physical bat. He's kind of part of half of the 2-headed monster that is Collegiate Bash Brothers. It's Carter Mitchell and Jet Bristow. Mitchell's 6'4". At the state games, he was 103 max EV. Average exit velocity was 93.4. Max distance was 390 feet. Swings with intent. Doesn't get cheated. It's power to all fields. I've seen him go out backside. I've seen him go out middle. Seen him go out plenty of times to the pull in game as well. It's a mature frame. It's just a run production type of bat. That's gonna clear some guys off the bases and can put it out in a hurry.
All right, a little 2-way talent there again. Carter Mitchell from Collegiate, and that was 1,000% a me tweet. So you're right about that. I just got to make sure everyone's clear that it's from 2025 and not 3025 or 2225 or whatever. All right, Jordan, we're going to stick with the first base idea here for you. We're going to go Will Eper from East Rockingham. You might have actually gotten to see him out during the high school season, too, when you were driving around a little bit. So what you got on Eper there, Jordan?
Yeah, so I did get to see Eper over high school season. Got to see him over the summer and again in the fall before state games. And it's a wiry 6'4", 190-pound frame, but there's plenty of room to add strength to the frame. But it's a contact bat first, more doubles power. But when the strength gets added, he'll be able to run the ball out the yard more. But every time I see him, the kid just hits, man, just sprays line drives all over to the field. Mature approach, calm. He's just ready to hit when the ball's comes across the plate. Also, he pitches as well. He had a strong outing at state games, but he just gets outs, man. He attacks hitters, moves the ball in and out, and just mixes and keeps hitters off balance. So a little 2-way talent there coming from East Rock, but I'm buying the bat, man.
No, I agree 100% with Jordan. Jordan's got. I leaned on Jordan actually the other day. We talked about this the other night. I had somebody reach out, and just kind of we talked about Eper a little bit. Jordan's seen him more than I. it was like Jordan said, it was a contact bat, and I loved him on the mound, but that was the only time I've gotten a chance to see him on the mound. Big, tall, lanky right-hander, like Jordan said, that can fill out, just kind of wiry. And the part that I loved the most about him is my man just got outs. He just filled the zone, got weak contact, and got outs. But I remember I think he had multiple hits that game that morning, didn't he, Jordan? Just bat to ball, contact, doubles. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that one in there in case anybody got fired up and was hyped up for the low 90s. One day.
All right, we'll stick arm here. We're gonna go back to Burton for your guy. We're gonna go down to Chesapeake. Tommy Blackburn, right-handed pitcher out of Hickory High School. What you got there, Bert?
I got a chance to see Tommy in relief a couple times during high school season, and it was low to mid. It was low to mid 80s. He's ticked up a little bit in the velo department. I think it was good to see that it was November 5th and he was still up to 87. And I know he's logged some innings this spring and summer, and obviously this fall. And so I think it's fair to expect when he comes out in the spring, he'll easily be 3 to 6, 4 to 7, maybe running 8. And hopefully higher than that. It's a higher slot, pitches, everything's kind of uphill. It gets on top of the fastball and plays it downhill a little bit. I think it worked best to the glove side. He was really able to get it out away from the right-handed hitters then. And he showed a really nice feel for a mid to upper 70s changeup. I like the arm. I thought he commanded the zone fairly well. Tommy Blackburn, Hickory right-hander, competes on the mound.
Latest arm out of Hickory. Newsflash there. All right, Jordan, you're going to stay down in that neck of the woods, back on the other side of the water here. Conor Smith, a catcher from Warwick. I know he caught my eye. He had one of the loudest first rounds of batting practice on Saturday. What else you got on him, Jordan?
Yeah, Conor Smith, he's definitely added some strength to his frame since we last saw him. More physical, more impact on the ball. But yeah, definitely strong rounds of BP on that first day that translated over into game. 189, 197 pop time from the workout that day. Strong arm behind the dish, has real catch and throw ability. Knows how to handle a staff. He's tough, gets down, blocks balls in the dirt. But like one thing that comes to mind when I look at Conor Smith, and he's a ball player. That's why he's a ball player. He's going to play the game the right way. He's going to make the right play. He's going to put the ball in play, just do what's best for the team. But he hits, and I think he's one of the top catchers down from that beach area right now.
All right, and again, so that was Conor Smith, catcher from Warwick. I think that's about all we've got planned for this pod. Bert, Jordan, any other notes or anything you want to add?
Nah, I mean rankings are rolling. Jordan's working really hard on coming through all these guys and looking through everybody, and we're kind of comboing and just getting after it. So everybody is having their due diligence done. I think between the 25 and 26 class, I guess it was last night, I pulled 1,100 2026 profiles from the state, and there were just over 1,000 from the 2025 class. So, between the two classes, over 2,000 players. And when I tell you we're going through each and every single player, we are going through each and every single player. So, if you want an opportunity for the staff to evaluate and update metrics and video and all those things, we have tons of preseason events coming up all around the state. So we're going to everybody's backyard.
All right, yeah, and speaking of those preseason events, obviously it's the end of November here. 2024 is right around the corner. The last weekend in January, we're going to have our annual, it's the Rising Stars Showcase, Freshman Showcase, and Future Stars Showcases. All three occurring at two different sites. Will be in Fredericksburg on the Saturday of that weekend, Richmond on the Sunday of that weekend. We do have our big February events, Rising Stars Showcase, excuse me. We do have our big February events. Obviously, the big national kickoff, Super 60, is in Chicago. And then our preseason event series this year, the preseason All-State, is going to be 4 events: Norfolk, Richmond, Northern Virginia, and Danville. Make sure you guys hustle and get your spots for those events. They fill super duper fast. We ran 2024 rankings updates in the middle of November. Obviously, we'll be running 2025 rankings all week. We got a wrap on the State Games superlatives just before Thanksgiving. And then quick hits have been running as we continue to look back at the State Games. So the next thing up for us when we return with this pod will be the updated 2026 rankings, and that'll be followed in the following week by our initial 2027 rankings. So I think that's about all for us. That's going to be a wrap on this episode, and we'll see you out there.